All right, we're back here on the Power Hour. We've got Scott Schweitzer in the house this week. This man has been traveling. This has been a busy summer for you.
Yeah, I mean, amazingly enough, usually we're just racing,
yeah.
and I stay working on the track. But with kids growing up and doing different things, I've been on the go.
Yeah, I know it's a tough one. And today, this is the first day of school, and I got a seniors this year, so I was a little choked up earlier. We were talking before you came in. You might have heard some of it too. But we're talking about Mike Mosier and how his impact on your track. And tell us a little bit about your thoughts and feelings about Mike.
Well, I was thinking about that this morning. Being in the family business in 1991, my father and I started our construction company, and it wasn't shortly after that I had to fire my first guy. And my father told me, he said, don't worry about it, son. Everybody's replaceable. And I think about that today, about Mike. I was thinking about that this morning, and I mean, that's one guy that's going to be tough that I'd have to, over the years, I figured out that statement my dad told me was true, but I believe with Mike, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, he's a staple of that place, and it every Saturday night. And with Mike's health, the way it's been lately, when I show up at the track and the people coming up and asking me and start giving me their little, their past moments and thoughts about Mike, it's going to be a tough weekend next Saturday night out there with him. And, but it's the best thing. He needs to go be with his family and take care of him. And, the doctors have recommended him to go there so they can get better treatment than what he's getting here. And so he knows that. We told him, you're not leaving. You're just going to get better so you can come back and get back in the booth with us. So. Yeah,
because, he's going there to be with the family and be with his kids and everything. And that seems – I've seen some posts from his sons, talking about, how they're looking forward to it.
And that's one of the tough things is all of his kids live in the Arizona area. Yeah. And, Mike's alone. And a lot of the racing community is over there at this house helping him. But and that's one of the things, the conversation we had is that he just needs some help. And so thank God he's getting it. And we know it's going to be the best thing for him. And probably won't see him for the rest of this year, the conversation that we had with him. But, he's already looking forward to coming back. So hopefully this will be the best thing for him.
This man's not out of it. This is not this man.
I said it is going to be strange. I mean, he's missed the occasional night here and there for certain things, but it is going to be strange going for everybody at Bakersfield Speedway not to hear the race doctor's voice up there announcing. And as said, he was planning on last year being his last season, but decided he liked it so much, was feeling well, and came back. So he was getting ready to get out of the booth, but the booth just kept calling him back.
I had that uncomfortable lunch meeting with him thinking, this was the last time that, last season was his last time out. And, man, he looked so good, and he told me, you got me for 10 more years, so deal with it. And I'm like, all right, Mike, we'll love to have you. But, God's got a plan, and we know he's got one for Mike, and everything's going to work out, and he'll be back with us soon. We just don't know when. So we're just happy that, he's going to stay with his kids, and the boys will take care of him and getting the treatment that he needs. And he said he's going to take his laptop so he can communicate with everybody via Facebook and different social media channels. So we'll be able to stay in touch with him.
That's great. It's great news. And, it's somebody that, like I said, he just has this ability to make you feel at home and to make you feel welcome. And that's my feeling on him, too. It's like, I'm a newcomer to motorsports, but he just says, come on in, enjoy.
And there's a couple of dirt racing message boards, and it's already spreading on those. And I'm getting calls from guys from out of town wanting info on the race because Mike has touched so many people throughout the years at Bakersfield Speedway. They want to come back for this last race, and he's going to be at. So, we're really happy that Wendy and Wayne Dotson of Golden Empire Towing came to me and with this idea a few weeks ago, and we went to lunch and talked about it and set this date, and lo and behold, it turned out to be the last date he's going to be there. So we're really happy we're able to put this in motion, and we're looking for a lot of fun things and good things for that night.
One more thing, we talked about Jeff Evans, but it's what people don't see. Anybody who's gone out to the racetrack, and Steve Lynch, who covers races for us, but we sent Cameron, our intern from Stanford, out there first ever time he was at a dirt track, and he loved it. And a part of the reason was I said, don't worry about it. Go out there and talk to Mike Mosier and Sully. They'll help you. And he said they were great. They made him feel at home, and they helped make it a memorable experience for him as well.
Yeah, he loved every second of it, and this is the kid that you look at him and you're like, oh, you're not a racing fan, but he's like, this is what Bakersfield's all about. This is what I love about the town. So,
Yeah, when I bought the racetrack and had my meeting with Doug Baton, and he, slides the keys to me, and we're finalizing everything, and we're talking about employees, and that's his one comment that vividly sticks in my mind is, good luck with Mike. You'll have to deal with him, and I didn't know really how to take that because he was an employee of mine, but I really, it quickly came to me. Mike's set in his ways, and Mike does what he does, and he does it well because the people love him. So it's going to be a tough next 2 weeks, that's for sure.
All right, let's talk about this last weekend. We have some great photos here. We're going to get right into. Oh, by the way, that's coming up. The special section, All Area Driving Award winners. We got tons of Bakersfield Speedway are going to be in that thing, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We got the Jack FM Night of the Races coming up this weekend. The Modifieds, Hobby Stocks, Mini Stocks, NMRA Midgets, Mini Dwarfs. $12 this weekend. Seniors military ID, $10. Kids 6 to 12, $5. 5 and under are free. The gates open at 4 o'clock. Racing is at 6. And if you need information, give them a call at 393-3373. That's 393-3373, or visit BakersfieldSpeedway.com. And Mike, most importantly,
camping and parking are free. Most importantly, if you like mini dwarfs, get there a little early because they start the heat races before 6. And just for your information, there's been 13 modified races this year and 10 different winners.
Ooh,
so there you go.
That's a good stat.
Yeah.
That's a very good stat. And then coming on the 29th, go back to that before we get to the American stocks. We have modified, sport mods, street stocks, American stocks, and mini stocks. And, all of those groups have been very competitive this season, as we mentioned before, the modified.
Some of the mods and sport mods on the 29th, some of those drivers are making a quick exit out of the Speedway and headed to Boone, Iowa for the Nationals.
Including Tom Mock, right?
Including Mock will be making a quick exit, too.
And with that modified race, we're going to do something cool, too, being that modifieds are Mike's favorite division. But anyway, we're going to run a 50-lap main event.
Oh, really?
And at 25 laps, we're going to have a break. They're going to have a little pit stop in the infield. They're only allowed to work on the car, a 10-minute break, and they can only do it in the infield in front of the fans.
That's kind of fun.
A little bit something different than we've done with modifieds, but trying to throw some flavor and some different things at this race to.
I guess if Tom's not going to be there, right? Is he going to be at that race? Tom
He's
Mock?
going to be there.
He'll be at
there?
this one.
Okay.
He actually leaves September 1st, I believe, to head to Boone.
His equipment, I believe, leaves that night.
Yeah.
Okay. we gotta make sure we get maybe have to hire another photographer for that. So, okay, we'll get to that. And let's get down to a couple other things. We got American stocks this weekend were fantastic, I guess, right? You got a good race there.
Yeah, we had a great race surface, stayed smooth and tacky, and it created some great racing all night long. So yeah, a great field of American stocks showed up. It's at, summertime. All the families and racers are vacationing before they get, kids go back to school. So. It's kind of cool to see the guys that do show up because we know it's a tough time of the year. But, yeah, I had a great showing, and Trevor Baker there won his first main event. So it was kind of cool to see a new guy. And the guy was dominating. He was fast all night and pulling away from the crowd.
Tom, so Trevor, go ahead and go to the results there. Trevor Baker with the win over Roger Welch and Mark Irwin, a couple of veteran guys.
Yeah, and Welch has 3 wins, so beat him, you're doing well.
Absolutely.
Tyler Johnson, Brian Childress, Terrence Childress, Michael Waters, Tracy Childress, Charles. You got to run through the gauntlet of Childresses in that event there. Charles Morrison and Cody Johnson there. Now moving on to Sport Mods. And another big night of activity there, Scott.
Yeah, and the interesting part on this one was the 04 car there of Manzella. He just flat took off and probably had maybe half a track lead on the field, and Ricky Childress coming back from his big crash and's got this car, and he's slowly working it, finding the handle on it, and he's reeling him in. And then we had a caution at like lap 16 and bunched the field back up. And once they bunched the field up, Ricky just jumped to the top side and was able to get past him and get the win. So it was cool to see Ricky back in victory lane after that horrible crash he had a few weeks ago.
So Ricky Childress gets in the all-area nomination and might get in there for Crash of the Year,
Yeah, we might have to. Yeah. His car looks much better with 4 tires down than it does with the wheels up.
Absolutely. And so there he is, Ricky Childress Jr. with the win. Nick Spain Howard with the finishes in second. Austin Manzella in third, as we mentioned. James Cecil in fourth, and Garrett Jernigan in fifth. Michael Johnson, Brylan Holder, Billy Simpkins, Kevin Johnson and Jared Schweitzer are. Is that a nephew?
That's my nephew.
Nephew,
Yeah.
okay. They all finished out in the top 10 there in the Sport Mod class. Moving on now to this is the Racer Saver Sprints, and fun race, huh?
Yeah, and this is another up and growing division. They've got a spec engine, and they're using try to downsize the cost of racing, and so it's growing. We knew we were going to have short-sided fields, and they brought 7 cars, but man, what a heck of a race they put on, and the field's growing. They had 12 cars earlier in the year, and Hanford 10, 12 cars, so we know it's going to be better for next year, and they put on a heck of a show, and Jesse Mack just running the top side and chased them down and put on a great display. Had a kind of a nasty wreck, and we lost 3 cars in the main event right there in turn 3, but still a great show by these guys.
So the winner there, again, was Jesse Mack, Chris Ennis in second, Mauro Simone in third, Monty Ferreira in fourth, and Scott Meisner in fifth, and Mike Schott finishing out in sixth. All right, now, what are we looking at? This is stock cars.
Yeah, the IMCA stock cars. Again, another division that's growing, that we kind of picked up from Hanford last year, and now we put them on the schedule full season.
Yeah, I like that thing, Old Man Racing.
So it turned out, this thing's growing. A lot of new guys in the field. Mike Hill just bought a car. So we got another local guy. One of the Hagers have got a car. So it's growing. It's getting better and better.
And this is the greatest picture yet.
This is Grizzly Adams reincarnated.
Wow, that's the first time I've seen that.
That is probably going to make the All-Area Award. That picture is probably going to be in our special edition.
That might be the best reaction shot we've had all season.
And I'll tell you what about Rick Sr. there. That guy is probably Mike Moser's best friend.
Yeah.
So he is really inspired and got a lot of passion for this season with the news of Mike and what's going on. So every time he straps into the 44 car there, he's driven to go to the front, and he's on a mission to win a championship for Mike. So kind of showed in that when he jumped out of the car.
Yeah,
there.
look at that.
I saw a Canadian parody just the other day on the Dollar Shave Club called the Dollar Beard Club. And I'm telling you, he'd be in the running on the Dollar Beard
right.
Club.
Well, I mean, there is some passion there, and it's such a good story there. Rick Childers Sr. with the win, Troy Patey with the second place finish, Ron Hurt in third, Mike Hill, as you mentioned, getting in the car and finishing fourth, and Pat Biggs in fifth. And the lights we had. By the way, just so everyone knows, we got a really nice letter from Harvey Hall, Mayor of Bakersfield, complimenting Mike Griffith on his story on Zach Forrester and the creation of the new division, saying he really is inspired by what is going on there with Zach and everything, and thought it was a great story. But Zach's little streak came to an end this weekend, or last weekend.
Well, I guess his primary car lost an engine or something when they were getting it ready to come out to the track. So he got in his backup car, which still is a great car. But yeah, I mean, these guys have week by week been reeling Zach in, and this was the weekend that he didn't make it to victory lane. We got some new blood in there.
And it's actually one of those things that's probably good for the division too.
Absolutely. Different winners is always good to see.
And he's
these
up there
guys.
congratulating
Yeah.
Jeff Thompson, right? I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, not taking anything.
that's what you want. He said, I want him to beat me.
Right.
Exactly. And this is and with that, it shows that Zach's beat a bull. So these other guys now have that motivation and said, hey, we want to do it now. So, but Zach's the first one, like I said, was there to congratulate Jeff. So it's really cool the way Zach's, helping the division. But yeah, it was good to see a new winner up there.
So Thompson with the win, Jeff Fry in second, Jerry Flippo, probably the tallest guy in the whole field there, it jams himself into that little car and finishes third. Brian Puckett, Tim Varney in fifth, Carson Sylvester in sixth. Zach finishes seventh, Candy Varney in eighth, J.D. Brown in ninth, and Kylie Forster in 10th.
And J.D. Brown's only been running, a couple races?
Yeah, J.D. Brown coming up from the mini dwarfs. And Flippo there, I mean, you got to give a shout-out to him. He was racing the asphalt track during the day and then didn't run a heat race, didn't practice. Someone brought the car out there. He showed up for main event, started last, and finished third. So a great effort by him.
That's great. All right, well, that's it for Bakersfield Speedway this weekend. We will be out there, right, Griff? We'll probably both be out there.
I'm usually out there, but you're going to make an appearance.
I'm going to make an appearance. I'm going to come out there because it's the last time I could probably get out there.
That's true.
Before the start of football season. So we will get out there and we will a talk with Mike Mosier. We'll have a video of him that night. We're looking forward to seeing him. Looking forward to seeing you as well.
All right.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages.